Hey everybody, this is Neal Bertrand. I'm an author and publisher. I own Cypress Cove Publishing in Lafayette, Louisiana. I wanted to show you the books that I have written and published. This is my first cookbook, Down Home Cajun Cooking Favorites. It has 140 authentic Cajun recipes, and we have recipes like to cook fricassees, jambalaya, it's famous Cajun meals. There's 140 recipes in here. The next cookbook I did was meals that you can cook in a rice cooker. This is called Rice Cooker Meals, Fast Home Cooking for Busy People. It has 60 meals in here that you can cook in a rice pot. The next one I did was called Slow Cooker Meals, Easy Home Cooking for Busy People. There are about 125 one-pot meals you can cook in your slow cooker, as well as 17 desserts such as chocolate peanut clusters, which is always a big hit when I give away samples at book signings. This here is Dad's War Photos. This is my dad on the front cover. He returned from World War II in the South Pacific with over 600 photos that he took all along the way, from home to boot camp to training camp, down to San Francisco, where he took the ship to go overseas. He landed in Australia. They went to Oro Bay and Dobadura, New Guinea, from there to Sador, from there to the island of Biak, from there to the Philippine Islands. Using his photos and his battalion's official daily journal, I was able to trace his steps from home to war and back home. And in here it even starts with his baby pictures at the beginning of the book. I have maps in here all along the way. This is the camera that he used, and I have pictures of souvenirs that he brought back home from the Philippines. And so this is a unique book, one of a kind, never been done before to my knowledge by any ancestor or son of a World War II veteran. In the back of the book there are 14 chapters of warplanes that he took pictures of with their erotic nose art, and in the last part of the book is the New Guinea natives he took pictures of. Great book. I published 2 books for a friend of mine, Constance Moniz. She wrote this novel here, A House for Eliza. On the front cover is her grandparents' 1893 wedding picture. That couple raised 17 kids through the Great Depression and 2 World Wars, and it's a story of family life in the late 1880s up to Second World War. So a very interesting book. Then she came out with Never Say Goodbye, which is a book of 3 short stories. One is the story of the when the locomotive came through Lafayette, Louisiana in the 1880s. And then there's the second story. It's about the building of St. Mary Magdalene Catholic Church in Abbeville. And the third story is when the Union troops during the Civil War came through New Iberia burning everything, how the most famous plantation in the New Iberia area was spared. These are our latest books. My son Jeremy did Fun Times with Math Logic Puzzles, and these are Sudoku, Kakuro, and Gokijin puzzles. He did this using his computer. This is a really neat book if you're into math puzzles. And then Jeremy and I put this together, Fun Times, puzzle and activity book. And so it has mazes. It also has Sudoku and Kokoro. It has Finish the Drawing, it has Word Creation, and cool stuff like this. So it's very, very fun. And to look inside, let me show you very briefly, is Finish the Drawing. Here's Word Creation. How many words can you make out of the word friend? How many words can you make out of the word football? And the answers are in the back of the book. Here's more, Finish the Drawing, some more mazes, various styles of mazes, word search, awesome word search puzzles. That'd be great. Now, both of these, you can get them through me at cypresscovepublishing.com. You can get them through Amazon. Most of my books are also in ebook. Here's a coloring book I did for the author, well, for the artist, actually. The artist is Keith Douillon from Kaplan, Louisiana. He's a humorist. He is also a cartoonist and a very witty guy. He drew these images. I had them, he also wrote a caption to go below each one, and then I had the captions translated into Cajun French. So it's a bilingual coloring book. And so the page numbers and captions are in English and French. This is a book I published for the Opelousas Orphan Train Society. This is what I call the Orphan Train book. Back in the early 1900s, there were thousands of orphans who came down to South Louisiana by train from New York City. The New York City orphanages were overflowing with kids. Either their parents died, their parents were too sick to take care of them, or too poor to take care of them, so they sent them away. They were put in foster families, and a very good book. This shows you what happened to them, to each person, from the cradle to the grave, when they were born, where they were born, and how they ended up. I published 4 books from my friend Sudie Landry. She has 4 books in this series, and she's working on the 5th one. This is Silent Prayer, a spiritual journey toward exposing the occult. This is a depiction of her when she was a very young child. She is very accurately portrayed here because she is red-headed and she has blue eyes. In this portrayal here, her hands are glowing because whenever she prayed, the Spirit of God came upon her and made her hands glow. But that is can only be seen by seeing into the spirit realm. And she has the ability to see into the spirit realm and see things that most people cannot see. She can see angels, and she can see demons. So this may sound weird to most people, but these are all biblical truths of being able to see into the spirit realm. So this is her first one. Her next one she did is called Trail of 6 Roses. This is the story of when her mother passed away, and her ashes, her mother's ashes, appeared at her front door in an urn delivered by a delivery service. And she was responsible for pouring out her ashes into a certain lake that she had never heard of. And when that day occurred, it was a series of miracles and answers to prayer that could only be answered by God, and only things that you could probably see in a movie, very heavy with CGI effects, computer-generated graphics. Very good book. It's only $6.95. This book here, Mom Bradley's Crossover, From Deathbed to Heaven. Mom Bradley was her great-grandmother, who was 102 and a half years old when she died. She and her first cousin were witnesses at her bedside when she passed away, and she saw her great-grandmother's spirit leave her body, and she saw an angel of God there near her bed waiting to take her to heaven. Very good book. This is her fourth book, Supernatural Encounters of the Godly Kind. This is volume 4, because there are adventures and encounters in here that will blow you away. If you haven't read the first 3 to kind of get you accustomed to the spiritual adventures that she had gone through, this may be a little hard for some people, a little hard for you to understand or comprehend or believe. But believe me, I know Sudie. I've been knowing her for many years. And I know she's a woman of God. And I know that she has had very awesome supernatural experiences. And she explains the field trips, quote unquote, that she has gone on with the Lord on these adventures. And the last book I wanted to show you was a book that I published on behalf of the Writers Guild of Lafayette, a Writers Guild of Acadiana. Every month or so there is a contest, and it's called the Prompt Competition, where you are given a prompt, such as it was a cold or rainy night in December. And then you have to build a story out of that, 500-word maximum. And so these people took, over the period of 2 or 3 years, they took these prompts, they wrote some amazing stories. These are the winners of these prompt competitions. So we only have the best of the best in this book. So that's about it. Until we can produce some more books, this is it for now. We have just finished our last book that we did for an author, and so that will be coming out this week, and so we'll tell you about that later on. Thank you. You can see all our books at cypresscovepublishing.com. You can also go to amazon.com and type in my name, Neal Bertrand. That's N-E-A-L, Bertrand is B-E-R-T-R-A-N-D. And you'll see my author page, and you'll be able to see all my books. Thank you. Bye.